So hey, I'm Evan Greer, and I'm the campaign director at Fight for the Future. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about a really important piece of legislation that's coming up in Congress that everyone who uses the internet should be aware of. This is called CISA, the Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act. If you've been following internet policy for a little while, this probably sounds familiar. It's very similar to a bill that was called CISPA, the Cyber Information Sharing and Protection Act. I think I'm getting that acronym right. Basically, these bills are being called cybersecurity bills, as in bills that are intended to prevent hacking or breaches of government or company networks. Unfortunately, they're not actually cybersecurity bills. In fact, they're surveillance bills. They don't actually do anything to prevent the types of high-profile hacks that have been in the media lately, like the OPM hacks, like Target, like these other major high-profile cases that Congress is talking about all the time. But what they will do is they'll give sweeping legal immunity to companies that hold private user data to allow them to share that data with the government without any fear, basically, of liability if they share that information improperly, if they don't take the basic steps required to remove people's personal information. So to make that more concrete, imagine that Blue Cross Blue Shield or another major insurance company were to be hacked. This is a very likely scenario. They're not the most sophisticated. They're not Google or Facebook. They're not used to this. They're going to say, oh crap, and hand a huge amount of information to the government. Suddenly the FBI has access to everyone's medical records that this company was holding. That's an actual real life scenario that could happen under this type of legislation. So from our perspective as activists, we think it's very important that we look at this as an issue of privacy, but also just recognize that these bills aren't going to do the thing that they say they are going to do. The government's thinking here is sort of, we keep getting robbed, let's put a surveillance camera in the bathroom and keep leaving the front door unlocked. We think that's totally inappropriate. We think we need legislation that will prevent cyber attacks, but it shouldn't be at the cost of user privacy and at the cost of all of our basic civil rights.
What, as Americans, can we do?
Sure. So the most important thing, obviously, with anything that has to do with legislation in Congress is to scare the crap out of your Congress member and make them feel that if they support this misguided legislation, not only are they going along with something that won't work, but that they are putting their constituents at risk. That's very important. So call, email, get in touch with your member of Congress. We have a website called Fax Big Brother, where you can actually send a fax to the entire Senate with just one click, which is a neat little piece of technology. The messaging there being that Congress seems to be stuck in 1984, so we may as well use 80s technology to reach them. But there's lots of organizations working on this. The most important thing is to learn about it, talk to people about it, and make sure that your member of Congress knows that you oppose it.